Hello there, everyone, and welcome back to Backlog Banter. My name is Tucker Hazel, and this is my co-host with Mixed Reception, Abram Buehner, and today we're here to talk about the February Nintendo Direct. But before we do that, we would like to hear your thoughts on February Nintendo Direct or anything else at all. And if you'd like to do that, you can join our Discord, the top of the description, and also you can subscribe to the channel and ring the bell and like and comment and do all that nonsense before you listen to our delicious discussion of Nintendo Switch games, because Nintendo's 2022 has been filled like a cream pie, and we're going to talk about it.
I'm not sure I like this intro. I feel like we need to issue an apology before we begin our discussion.
I think we should start including a content warning at the beginning of every BLB video, a la Jackass. Do not try this at home. These people are crazy, and they're going to say some whack-ass shit. Viewer discretion is advised.
Well, Tucker, I'm just going to hop right into my thoughts because I don't know how to follow up what just happened. I think this Nintendo Direct was fine. And what we're going to do here for you is we're going to do a little bit of a meaty breakdown because there's actually a number of things to talk about. So we're going to kind of go point for point through the important things as broken down by the #1 news source online, Nibel on Twitter. But on the whole, I don't think that this Direct really changed my thoughts on Nintendo's year on the whole, because I don't think that, in my opinion, we got any major announcement that didn't have some kind of caveat attached to it, which tempered my expectations. But there were some cool things in here for me. I think the Mario Kart stuff is obviously up there for me. I think Switch Sports looks quite fun. But Alive is fucking crazy. I think this Direct had a lot of unnecessary stuff, but I don't mean that in terms of we didn't need to see it. In terms of like, who told Square Enix to spend their HD2D resources on Alive? Like, that seems unnecessary, but it's cool that it happened. I think that might be my quick blurb here.
Sure.
Unnecessary, but cool that it happened.
Yeah. So for me, I'm a little bit higher personally, and not because the majority of these games spoke to me on a personal level. Not a Mario Kart fan, not a Wii Sports fan. I've never played Mario Strikers. I don't like play the Warriors games. So like, okay, what's this? This is a little bit weird. But I think the thing is, for me, is this Direct provided me with something entirely out of left field and completely unexpected. I thought we could map out this Direct in our fucking brains 2 minutes before it happened. We're like, hey, Kirby, Splatoon, Bayonetta, Breath of the Wild 2. Like, we know what's coming out this year because it is stacked. It's got those tentpole titles. Of course, we're going to see trailers from all of those today. And guess what? No, we saw Splatoon and Kirby, and both of those had surprisingly sort of different trailers, different spin on each of them, as we'll get to. But then we had the year filled out with the B tier titles and a lot of stuff that was actually completely surprising. No leaks of a Wii Sports sequel, quote unquote. No real substantial leaks of Mario Kart DLC, because guess what? It's been 5 years and that game is a decade old. And what the fuck? They're doubling the content in the game. That's weird. Xenoblade 3 is the one that was rumored, but obviously Monolith Soft pumping a game out again, presumably going to be high quality. That's great. This Direct did something very surprising for me. And also, I think whatever cracks there were filled with surprisingly interesting third-party announcements. We had a huge slew of things announced today. And because of that, I come out the other side saying, wow, the Switch is kind of picking up steam in different areas again. And I think that's very exciting.
Yeah, I do too. And I think we ought to just start filling Nintendo's cracks with the first thing that they showed us.
Fill their cream pie.
And that is, I'm pulling it up because the titles of half of these games are escaping me. Fire Emblem
Warriors, Three Hopes.
Yes.
I feel like on
June 24th. I feel like we're getting a little bit fast and loose with these names here. It's a little too close as to Three Houses, I think.
Believe it or not, I'm going to say, this is my headcanon, I think that's the point.
I think that's probably the point. But like, what are your thoughts on this game?
So this is an interesting one because you come out of the gates with high quality Fire Emblem cutscene, and I'm like, I like Fire Emblem. I'm excited for new Fire Emblem. It's been forever since we've gotten, quote unquote, Fire Emblem. One of the biggest gaps in modern Fire Emblem history. Oh my God, yes, new Fire Emblem this year. Oh shit, it's Warriors. I'm not a Warriors player. I haven't played Fire Emblem Warriors. I haven't played Hyrule Warriors or Age of Calamity. This is the 4th Nintendo Muso game on the system, which is crazy. But the idea is that the idea that it is a continuation of the story, that it might have a different kind of structure and a more emphasis on the continuation of the story of these characters, because it is these characters our headcanon, we don't know for sure, is that there are 3 paths that you can play through, or that maybe there's one story that picks a canon ending from the original game. all that is pretty interesting. And all we can hope is that who makes these fucking games?
Omega Force.
Omega Force has learned from their mistakes, this being the 4th game on the system, and it runs better, and they have it pared down enough to work. It could be very good, but nothing of this, except for the fact that it is a sequel to one of my favorite games of all time, ostensibly, gets me insanely excited. But it's a solid surprise title. I think for me, the reason I'm happy with it regardless is that there doesn't seem to be anything wrong with it. And it is a very interesting idea. It's a unique, surprising title to add to 2022's lineup.
Yeah, I feel like there's, well, to what you said at the very beginning, there's a little bit of like Amiibo Festival cuckoldry here that happened where like it seemed pretty clear that we were going to get the next Fire Emblem game because it's about time.
You're talking about the reveal for Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. Yes,
which was like touch Isabel with the gamepad, and then she steps out into this beautifully rendered town. Like it's
Animal happens Crossing. To also be a game board.
Yes, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? I think this is less jarring because these games have a higher quality floor, but Omega Force, I don't know how the fuck they managed to do it because they make the same game, but they make it for everybody. And now they're entering this new lane, which I think is very interesting, where they're doing like canonized sequels to other titles.
Yeah, this is their 3rd one.
Yeah, we get Age of Calamity, we get Persona 5 Strikers, and now we get this, and they're all sequels to their respective games, which is quite interesting and shows. Can you
imagine how much you would lose your mind if there was a Star Wars one of these and it was canon?
Yes.
I just came up with that like, holy shit, you would cream so fucking fast.
Well, see, my problem is yes, but then I'd buy it on Xbox Series because one of my biggest problems with Age of Calamity is that I don't think it runs or looks good on Switch at all. And so I can't be especially excited about this game because I think that there is, having played all of these Warriors games, I think there's one good Warriors game and it's the first one.
Yeah,
I think Hyrule Warriors, and then by extension Definitive Edition with all that DLC content that's the bar, and all the other ones have been below it. But we'll see. I think that it releasing 2 weeks after Strikers, speaking of a little bit of cuckoldry, we're right back in that lane because Warriors to Odyssey was terrible.
Yeah,
Strikers
to this. Good lord, that killed that game. Actually, I'm gonna look up how much Fire Emblem Warriors sold real quick.
Yes.
Continue talking.
Like with Strikers to this 2 weeks, it's less of a major issue because Strikers is not the brand new 3D Mario on the console, but it's still just a mismanaged release calendar, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's interesting that we don't have a May game, and now we have 2 June games. It's interesting, not because this year is patchy by any means, but because it doesn't really make sense in a year that is already pretty full to have 2 games at the same time. When you have 12 months to put out 12 games and give them their own slots. I don't necessarily think this is the end of the world for this scenario, though, because these are niche titles. They're going to sell 3 million copies each. Maybe Mario Strikers probably a little more.
Not niche, by the way. That's part of the problem. Like 3 million copies is not niche. In the context of the Nintendo games, it isn't. But those games could sell more if they had more space, I think.
I guess that's true, though. I don't know. I don't know if that's necessarily. I necessarily agree with that because I think if a Fire Emblem Three Houses sequel comes out, it's going to sell how much it's going to sell regardless. Like this does not appeal to new fans at all. It appeals to Muso fans and it appeals to Three Houses fans. Muso fans are going to buy it because it's a Muso game. Three Houses fans are going to buy it because it's a Three Houses sequel. Like putting this next to anything, it's going to sell the same amount regardless. And so I think it's fine. And Mario Strikers is interesting because there's not really too much of a precedent to how well Mario Strikers games sell because one was on a failed console and one was on one of the most successful consoles of all time. And of course, this is now even more successful of a console. So it'll be interesting to see how much this sells. But I think they're both going to do totally fine. I wish that they were separated, but I'm just saying I don't think it's the end for either of them.
I don't think it's the end for either of them, but from the player's perspective, it's like give me time with these games, right?
I don't disagree. Yeah,
and we because we double up in April also. There's a bigger gap as we're going to talk about, but Advance Wars and then Switch Sports. It's just like why are you doing this, Nintendo? Like why do we have 4 games surrounding May?
Yes.
But maybe we'll find out. Advance Wars 1+2. A couple bullet points here. I don't think we're gonna have too much to say here, but we've got voice acting. We can reset and fast forward the battles. It's kind of some of those modern Fire Emblem post-awakening quality life changes. And then we saw some cool new modes, including a level builder, which I believe was in the original games, as well as local and online multiplayer.
Yeah.
And we have a release date of April 8th.
Yeah, so this is actually pretty cool for this.
Yes.
This doesn't change my tune on it, which is I'm excited. I want to give them a try. And this is actually just a solid like cherry on, like this is a big cherry on top. This is a little cherry. This is, oh, there's a level creator in multiplayer. Like that's a big fucking deal. And it makes this package surprisingly content rich. And hopefully the fact that it is content rich and that it is more modernized and there are more options makes it more appealing to a wider audience.
Yeah.
But also it probably is, it doesn't really, because much like I was saying with fucking not Sparks of, there's another hopeful game this year. No, Three Hopes. Three Hopes. This game is going to sell to the audience it's made for. Like this will sell better, I assume, than any other previous Advanced Wars game. But I think this is actually just a good trailer, great new content. Happy with it, and got over by fast, no problems.
Yeah, I can't wait to play this game. I've wanted to play Advanced Wars for a long time, but now I'm just definitely gonna wait for the Switch version. I like the art
thinking about playing the originals?
Yeah, just to see, because they're really easily available on Wii U Virtual Console. But I think at this point I'm just gonna wait because it's less than 2 months away. I think it looks quite charming. I love a good strategy RPG. I really like the personality of these games, and play a little online with you. Play a little online with, I don't know. I don't have any other friends.
I'm not gonna play online on the game. Don't fucking.
No, because you're also not gonna buy it. So now there were some third-party games of various scales that we're gonna save for the end, because people are gonna click on this video for Nintendo stuff. So we'll circle around to some of this shit, but we're gonna talk about Mario Strikers Battle League next.
Battle League next in the line of really lame Mario Sports subtitles.
Yeah,
it took me forever to like piece that together. I'm like, battle arena, battle mode, what the fuck is happening? But the interesting thing about this, and what you said at the beginning about this not necessarily piquing your interest too much, because it is Mario Strikers on a modern system. And you know what? I totally agree with that. However, I don't actually see that as a bad thing. And I think it actually could be a bonus, because this is a series that has been dead for so long and the entries have not been played in forever, that I don't think this requires a gimmick to be super exciting.
Sure.
However, I do agree with you. There should be more interesting characters, more interesting maps, whatever. We might see that in a future trailer. But I think that having a gimmick might actually have hurt the game, because we've seen gimmicks go wrong in the past for sports games, make it less interesting. This is a focused modern Mario Strikers title. It doesn't have anything insanely flashy on top of it, but I think that there's actually appeal to that, and that might actually bring in older players more strongly. If it was Mario Strikers Ultra Smash and they had Mega Mode, yes, that's an interesting gimmick. Yes, that's something that sets it apart from 1 and 2. But also, okay, maybe that doesn't work as well. Maybe it messes up the gameplay flow. Maybe it takes the focus away from the core gameplay that they like. I don't know. I don't actually think it's a bad thing that's lacking a gimmick.
I think when I say gimmick, I don't mean I need like the time slowing down of aces or something.
Yeah.
But I need it to not like it could look like it just could have been on Wii if it was down spec'd.
Sure.
What I mean is like, where's the Odyssey characters? Where are the interesting side modes?
You're right. Cappy could not run on Wii.
But the thing is, like, the Mario identity has moved beyond where it was before.
Of course.
And it's like, if we've got a cool gear system, as I'm looking here, and we see Rosalina, we see Bowser, but we see the usual suspects, you know? And I'm also someone who, I think Strikers is frustrating, but it's that sort of like, it's that fun frustrating. So it's in the intersection of those two ideas where my sister and I I forget, because I got the game like way late. And I'm talking like 3 years ago late.
That's pretty late.
Yes. And
I don't think when anyone was playing Mario Strikers on GameCube online at that point.
No. But my sister and I played a lot of the game, and we would get so fucking angry playing it. But then every day it's like, okay, we're gonna play Strikers again, right? And yeah, we did. So I think there's an appeal to the core gameplay loop, but it's not one that I inherently go, yep, and now I'm on board. If this was Mario Baseball or something, I'd be more inherently inclined. But I think Strikers coming back with next level games, especially now that they're acquired, was a foregone conclusion.
Sure.
And so because of that, I just wanted to see a little bit more than we did.
Yeah, I mean, I think yes, it's also very soon, which is nice. I think the thing about this is its reveal. There is the possibility that
very true.
They're not opposed to dropping substantially interesting trailers just on Twitter, and of course there will probably be another direct before, maybe not, who knows? But But I do think that
E3
there's a
maybe.
chance that we get a trailer that gives us, okay, here's a substantial new side mode. I believe that there will be interesting characters in this game. I think there's still time to flesh it out to the level that you are more interested in it. But it also could be less frustrating, but more polished. It's on a modern system. It's with a team that has more experience. There are things that lead me to believe that this is still interesting, even if it doesn't have a super strong identity of its own. But also, I haven't played Mario Strikers. I don't fucking know if I'm going to like it. I don't know if it's going to be quality. I don't know if the other ones were quality because I can't speak to them personally. So I am only interested in it because it's a return to form in a series that has been dead for 15 fucking years. Literally, it'll be over 15 years.
And Next Level Games doesn't make bad Nintendo games.
Sure.
So we just mentioned 2, 3, Punch-Out, Strikers. They're a very good team. So I have faith in them, but I don't really have faith in Nintendo as a publisher with Mario sports games, who clearly could have given Camelot more time and just flat out didn't. We'll see. I just think, again, there's a lot of like external factors here that make me concerned, even though you're totally right, we could get a huge, really cool trailer. But
also, that's just speculation on my part. It could also not go that way.
Next, we saw Splatoon 3, and it was an emphasis on the Salmon Run mode.
It was only the Salmon Run.
And the reason I wanted to say that is because I was going to say, because there's also no emphasis on a release date, because it's still only summer 2022. And my theory there, by the way, just to say this first, is I think that they are waiting to see where other games land, because I think
other console games,
other major Nintendo games, whether you're talking about Mario plus Rabbids or something like
or
Bayonetta, or even Breath of the Wild. Here's my theory about this. People need to get through their heads that Splatoon 3 is going to be enormous. Splatoon 2 sold almost 13 million copies. This game is poised to, I really think, do 15 million plus. And that is punching at a significant weight. So I don't think it's impossible that Breath of the Wild gets delayed, as I think it might be. And this game ends up launching in like a holiday slot or something. Because we say Splatoon needs to be a summer game because it's always been a summer game, but it doesn't really matter. So I think they're keeping it vague with the intention that they could move it if they want to.
Yeah, and I think it also is possible that they stretch summer to mean like end of August, basically September. I don't think this is their end of the year game. I don't think this is going to come out in November. I think that summer is a vague enough window to where, yes, it can be cheap, but we have all of July and August open at the moment. And so I think you're right to a certain extent, but I think that they're trying to see where other things land, but also they have control over that. They're the one putting out the big game. Splatoon 3 is going to knock the socks of Bayonetta and Mario and Rabbids off, no matter where it lands. And if it's next to them, sorry to those games, but not sorry to this. I understand what you're saying, but I think that they could have at least given a month. I think it's very strange that this is a window for a game that is coming pretty imminently, and one that we have a lot of information on, all things considered.
But I just, because Nintendo is no stranger to finishing a game and sitting on it. And it's because I think that there have been rumors to the effect of Ubisoft is having development issues with Sparks of Hope.
Oh, really? I haven't heard that. But...
in part COVID related. And Platinum is going through whatever the fuck Platinum is going through right now, if you're following that whole debacle on Twitter with their shift towards live service. So I almost feel if it's partially like, where does this fit? How can we not cannibalize these games? They might honestly not know when Ubisoft and Platinum are actually going to deliver.
Sure, that's a good
point.
They
might be just keeping it kind of liquid. But I think the reason we're talking about the release date so much is because we really didn't see anything noteworthy out of this trailer. I love Salmon Run. You love Salmon Run.
Yes, I do.
But outside of like the passing the salmon eggs feature, which is a great like minor gameplay feature. It was basically just Salmon Run again. Frankly,
was that a new map? I couldn't even tell. Salmon Run maps run together regardless. The Salmon Run maps are just different versions of the same map. Like they have different layouts, but it's like the same aesthetic and stuff, I think, as far as I can remember.
Pretty much.
But it's interesting that they choose to have this trailer focus on that, because the presumably biggest aspect of Splatoon 3 that's going to set it apart is a stronger campaign. And so not seeing that is a little bit strange, but also this is still coming out in summer, and a big, interesting campaign trailer 2 months before the game drops at the E3 slot, even if E3 is not happening this year, sounds about right anyway. And I am a Salmon Run fan, and the fish stick boss is funny. Like everything that they showed here got me excited as a Splatoon fan, and keeping Splatoon in the cultural consciousness is important. It's unfortunate they didn't frame it through, this is the Squid Research Lab reporting in, but I was happy with this, and Splatoon 3 continues to look great. Salmon Run is going to be better than ever, regardless. So I'm happy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Splatoon 3 continues to look like more Splatoon, you know. So we'll see if that ends up changing at all.
Yeah.
But Splatoon 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. So I'm already on board. This again, as I said at the beginning, this really didn't move the needle for me in any particular direction.
Sure.
But now we get to, as Niall himself says, the throat goat segment of our discussion here. And this is for Kirby in the Forgotten Land, where we learned about mouthful mode.
Yep, mouth mode.
Here's the thing about this. Ultimately, it's not a huge deal because, frankly, they're just copy buildings, but they change. But Kirby, it's things that Kirby can't digest, I think, is the gimmick, because it's like a traffic cone or like a car. It's really clever. And I think that Hal needs to play more with the fact that Kirby can be squished and pulled. And they're doing that. So I think it looks really charming. And it's funny that he's just voring things. So it didn't make me more excited for the game, but I think it's a really clever part of the design. Yeah,
so I come at it from a different angle, because Kirby Forgotten Land reveal trailer, you and I sitting there with bated breath.
Yeah.
Oh my God, a 3D Kirby game. This is a fucking dream come true. For me, as someone who's not a Kirby fan, the problem is the level design and the pacing of the 2D games, which have stayed relatively samey for 25 years. But now, holy shit, they're doing something different. This is awesome. I'm very excited at the reveal trailer. My engagement, and yes, I'm going to play this. Yes, it's exciting and fresh for the Kirby series, stays constant, but my outward hype for the game has decreased as we see more of games. And until today, it's like, yeah, this is just another, they showed us a little more of the level that they showed us in the reveal trailer. Okay, nothing new. However, and fucking call me Carson, call me crazy. This actually got me significantly reinvigorated with interest in this game, because I think that the idea that this gimmick of him not being able to swallow things and looking weird and glomming onto a car is fucking weird in a way that Kirby games sometimes have, but it's usually like the second or third entry in a quote unquote mini series of Kirby where you get to that point. And we're getting a 3D Kirby game. That could have been enough for them to put it out with basically no extra gimmicks, basically straight Kirby gameplay in a 3D environment. Cool. Have a great day. Probably be a good game. All right. But the fact that they're skipping that middleman and adding an extra interesting identity on top of it in a probably relatively samey for gameplay, but visually interesting, charming, using Kirby in a unique way is actually very exciting for me. And I see Kirby glomming onto a car, and you and I are like, what the fuck is happening? What the fuck is happening? And that's really exciting. And I think it does give this game a stronger identity of its own, even though it already has its own identity because it's a 3D Kirby game, but it was a 3D platformer before, but now it's a obviously Kirby 3D platformer. Mario does Cappy. Similar idea. But I don't know. I think this really is exciting.
I think it's cute. I just think that you're overselling it, because it's not going to have an effect on the game's mechanics that we could have gotten from the copy builders. It's kind of my thing. Yeah. It's zany, and that's why I like it.
The one thing I would say is yes, it's not. However, yes, they could have been other copy abilities, but guess what? We've been getting new Kirby copy abilities for 25 years, and they always look basically the same. It's him with a different hat, whatever. The fact that it's the same idea but put into a new context is what gives me a little bit of hope. If this was car mode and it was Kirby with a wheel on his head, I'd be like, great. It's car copy ability, whatever. Yeah. No, he is a car. He's sucked onto a car, and that's just fucking funny.
Yeah, it's funny, and my hope is that it just ends up informing level design more, opposed to just being basically a copy ability where it would be fun and some of the sections will be tailored around it, but again, it would feel interchangeable. I hope that's not what it is.
Yeah,
I think it could influence level design in that way, but I think what interested me more out of this trailer was that we saw more of that Waddle Dee village, and we saw how you can spend resources to upgrade copy abilities. And go into the actual shops and everything. That to me is what's more exciting, because that's more of a systemic thing that they're
100%
expanding about the game. The idea of making a more cohesive world. I think that's amazing, and that's part of why this is my most anticipated Nintendo game of the year. So,
and I still think you're a little bit ridiculous for that. Not I know you're actually excited for it. I don't really give a shit, but I'm closer to that now than I was before. This trailer got me very excited.
I mean, it's a complete reinvention of one of my favorite series that has been in need of reinvention for so long. I think that looks very good. Again, we're gonna circle back to this third party stuff. So the next major game we have to talk about is Nintendo Switch Sports. A couple details here. Nintendo Switch Sports features tennis, bowling, chambara, which is just sword fighting from Wii Sports Resort, soccer, badminton, volleyball, and then we're gonna get golf later on.
Golf.
Golf. This game is very interesting to me. This game is very interesting for me, and I feel like it's the sort of game I want to sit on and have a separate discussion about, perhaps.
Sure.
But even just, I'm going to hold this up here. This is just the Wii Sports logo.
Yeah.
And the music is very much in the stylistic vein of those games.
I think they might have even used the Wii Sports theme motif somewhere in there. I might have been making that up, but
and of course the majority of these game modes
are things we've already seen.
Are things we've seen between Wii Sports and Wii Sports Resort, which is where like the Chambara stuff comes from. I'm looking here. I think soccer and volleyball are the only two new ones. I say badminton is a new game, but frankly, when you reduce it down to motion controls, there's not that much difference between tennis and badminton.
Yeah.
So I'm not really willing to give them two separate sports there. As someone who likes to play both in real life, but
you've actually played badminton before?
I don't know if you know this about me, but my sister and I play badminton. It's just lawn badminton, but we in the summer every day we play badminton to 50 points. This is true. This is like for the past several years. My sister and I every day play badminton.
Huh. Badminton stream for 1,000 subscribers?
I'll do a badminton stream just because it's a fucking Tuesday. But Tucker, what do you think about this game?
I think this is the most interesting part of the direct.
Yeah.
Which is interesting to say because as I think through this more, my thoughts have become crystallized that this was a very interesting direct. It wasn't necessarily exciting, but each of these things we're talking about is interesting to a certain degree. And this is fascinating.
Yeah.
That we're returning to the Wii Sports formula, like explicitly saying this is basically the sequel to Wii Sports. Obviously, that was Wii Sports, and there was Wii Sports Club, but those are sort of glommed onto the original.
Yeah.
And this game actually looks surprisingly high quality, like visually, environmentally. Yes. These backgrounds are really detailed. These characters have fluid animations. Okay. Oh, it's got a different visual style from Wii Sports. This could be something new and big for them for the casual market. We haven't seen something like this in a while from them. All that's very exciting. The things that sort of draw away from that is, okay, we've seen most of these sports before.
Yeah.
They're going to be DLCing full game modes. Why is golf one of the big parts of Wii Sports, not just in the package at launch? The Miis are present, but not really. They've replaced them with, as I say, this Ninjala-like character aesthetic that isn't quite as pleasing, but maybe we'll get used to it. I'm not going to say for definitively, but this is very interesting, and it could be very cool if it is very high quality and catches on when it comes out.
Yeah, the Mii's thing is interesting. The more I just look at screenshots, I feel like I had like a knee jerk. They're not the Mii, so they're bad type of thing.
Sure.
I think they're nicely designed characters, and you can use your Mii if you want to.
Mm-hmm. What it appears to me, and we only really saw them back, but I think it just puts the Mii head on the character body, which of course is essentially the same, but like.
And I honestly think that's fine. Like the Mii's don't move the way you need them to move for soccer or something, And it's not,
especially because in Wii Sports they did have arms.
It's like. I think that not having the Mii's as they used to be is totally fine, frankly. Sure, you could have put them in the fuller Mii wireframes, but those are kind of just like flat and boring, right?
Yeah. But what I really think about this, and this Mii thing is kind of one of the big talking points about this game, and certainly our main thing when we first saw it, is not that these characters are poorly designed, but is they don't have a clear Nintendo aesthetic to them. But one of the reasons I'm not a gigantic fan of the Mii's. I don't really care that much, but they are explicitly, these are the Nintendo avatars. I think what this could have been and should have been, frankly, is Nintendo introducing, and we might see this later on, but introducing a new kind of Nintendo avatar. Clearly Nintendo aesthetic. It can be applied to other things. You're going to see this new version of Avatar in the next Mario Kart game, whatever.
Yeah.
But these characters they're fine, but they're relatively nondescript, which is something we don't get from Nintendo often. We don't really get, I feel like we've seen these before characters. Like Mii's are, what the fuck is this? They don't have arms. Their eyes are funny. Like it's very distinct. These aren't very distinct, which is strange for a Nintendo game, especially one of this caliber.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Go Vacation
Yes, sure.
Which was both a Wii and a Switch exclusive.
Yep.
Not made by Nintendo, but published by Nintendo, and like it was like in the vein of Wii Sports Resort, both in terms of gameplay and visuals, but like tangential to it.
Yeah.
I think that the Mii's were something Nintendo didn't have to leave behind to get away from the Wii.
I agree. I think they should have just become coherent across Nintendo as a brand.
I get why
they did. Well, until they didn't.
The thing about it is, I get why they wanted to separate themselves from the Wii in 2017.
Yeah.
In 2022, when the Switch is over 100 million units sold, I don't think it's necessary to feel afraid to return to that identity anymore.
100%.
Especially because clearly the intention of this game is to recapture the Wii's crowd.
Exactly.
And the Wii's crowd knows the Mii's.
Yeah.
So it would just seem like a natural fit to me to include them. But I feel like when we get our hands on the game, I'm not going to think about that for too long.
Yeah. Especially because you can put your Mii's head in the game.
Yeah, and we can actually put our hands on the game very soon because the online test is February 18th to the 20th.
Next week.
So we'll do a little impressions video for this game, I suppose. Yep. But I like that Nintendo has more of this software here. I think
100%
like this, and what it looks like to me, much in the way that I feel like Ring Fit was kind of like an evolution of Wii Fit. This feels like an evolution of Wii Sports in terms of inherently the Joy-Con can do more precise motion, and I hope that kind of comes through in the gameplay in the sense of being a more fully fledged version of that Wii idea.
That's a great point.
See.
And also involving the leg strap, which is, I believe, as our intern Avi was doing a little digging, it's sold separately. So it's not an intrinsic part of the game's design, which I think is a little bit unfortunate. And also, the thing's not that big. You can put it in a case. I really think it should have been included. But the fact that that is a new aspect of the gameplay could give it that unique feel, that second element of control, and even Joy-Con here, Joy-Con here. I guess I won't do 3 probably, but leg and arm is something they didn't do with Wii Sports or Wii Sports Resort. So that's interesting.
Yeah, like the closest we got was using the balance board, but I think that was, I can't remember if you could go jogging in Wii Sports Resort. That might have been a Wii Fit Plus thing. Those games all run together in my head.
Could have been Wii Sports Club.
I could have also been. Well, I know it wasn't because I never had either of those games, and I definitely did jogging in Wii.
I'm just trying to name as many of these goddamn Wii games that I never played.
But this comes out end of February, I think.
What if I got into Wii Fit?
That'd be really weird. Wii Fit's really fun, but it's not an exercise program. Like Ring Fit Adventure gives you an actual workout.
Yes,
Wii Fit literally doesn't. But Wii Fit is fun. April 29th. I'm excited about this game. I'm doubly excited about it because my girlfriend Jean is excited about the game. Yeah. And she is the exact type of person that Nintendo is trying to appeal to here. And they're doing 100%. A great job because she's a more casual gamer. She's coming back into games because of me.
And the Switch.
After,
by extension, the Switch, because the Switch is just a growth. It's a tumor on Abram Wiener.
Like coming from the Wii. When I said, the way I introduced it to her is, I'm like, they're making a new Wii Sports game. She goes, wait, really? That's super cool, right? So I think Nintendo is on to something here.
What we really should hope for is that they make this a pack-in somehow in new versions of the Switch.
Eventually, probably, yeah.
They need to push this in the way that it'll recapture that audience that they've had attempts with on the Switch with 1-2 Switch and Ring Fit and Game Collection 51 Classics.
Clubhouse Games 51 Classics, one of the best games on Nintendo Switch.
Yeah. They've had attempts, but they haven't pushed these as pack-ins. Here you go, holy shit, yes, wide stream appeal. They can do that with this, and I kind of hope they do.
Next thing is this will be a very quick segment, Metroid Dread, a little free update for that game. As of today, it's getting 2 new difficulty modes, Dread mode, which is 1 hit, and then Rookie mode, which seems to be regenerating health.
Somehow.
Neither of those is going to bring me back into the game. Not even the boss rush mode coming out in April is going to do that. Mm-hmm. I love Metroid Dread. I think it's a top 5 Switch game, but for me to play it again, I'm either going to need more time. So I'm just doing a replay, or for like a standalone or even just integrated DLC expansion, which I hope we actually get.
Which I'm surprised we didn't get. Frankly, it has been long enough from the game coming out for Nintendo's track record to announce DLC. But also, guess what? Coming up next is 5-year-old DLC on a 5-year-old/10-year-old game. So who the fuck knows what's happening? But to talk about the Metroid thing just a little bit, this is fine.
Yeah.
It's like boink, a tiny little bit more for Metroid Dread.
Yeah.
It doesn't really impact the game's core audience, except for people who just really hate themselves and want to get killed in one hit and presumably have to restart the game. Is it a one hit and you're done?
No, I don't think it's like the grounded mode in Last of Us. I think you just go back to your checkpoint.
This isn't Minecraft hardcore. No. Hardcore mode. No. Okay. Well, yeah, but it's also interesting that the boss rush mode wasn't packaged with this thing.
Yeah.
It's like okay, one hit mode, baby ass baby mode, and wait a couple months and you can play the boss rush mode. What the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know what the intention is there. There was rumors that we're going to see the Metroid Prime remake here. Which didn't happen. I wonder if there's going to be like a kind of bigger Metroid push around E3 of like, hey, here's a Dread expansion, and then this Metroid thing's coming out later in the year, next year, whatever. Yeah. If it's even real, I don't think a Metroid Prime remake's a good idea, but that's a bridge to cross at a different juncture. Another quick one. Fucking finally, Earthbound is coming to NSO along with
Beginnings.
Yeah, along with Beginnings. I'm going to give it a concerted effort. I'm not going, as Tucker rightly checked me on, I'm not going to claim that I'm going to finish the game because that seems unlikely. But also, if I'm ever going to beat Earthbound, it's going to be with Rewind on my OLED. So
100%.
We'll see.
Yeah, and this is really cool. And obviously they gave it its own thing. Shigesato Itoi retweeting today, getting people's hype spiraled into fucking oblivion. The chat was going absolutely ape shit with the return of these games, and then not Mother 3, which is a whole thing, and we can maybe talk about it a little bit if we want. But this is cool. I'm happy these games are on Switch, especially Earthbound Beginnings, which is only ever made available through Wii U Virtual Console until now. However, this is unfortunate in the way that, this is the only games in this drop. Like, clearly these are important, but like Nintendo Switch Online's rollout is so fucking odd that like, okay, does this mean that we don't get an N64 game for 2 months? Or no, wait, the announcement
Majora's Mask is coming this month.
Or Majora's Mask. It's hard to remember.
Yeah. I want to
they put so little importance on these goddamn releases.
I want to amend what you said. You said the rollout was odd. I think the rollout is terrible.
Well, sure.
That's the amendment I'd make. I think it's categorically unacceptable that Nintendo is releasing a service where you get like maybe a piece of content every month, and maybe.
Yeah.
Because it's important to remember that people who don't have the expansion pack have not gotten any new games since today. Yeah, since Jelly Boy, as Lonely Goomba was talking about on Twitter. But I've always wanted to play Earthbound, because what I played, because here's the thing, as people are going to remember if they like are avid BLB watchers, is that I played like 5 hours of Earthbound on 3DS last year, and I enjoyed it a lot, but I was annoyed by the difficulty, and I don't like the form factor of my new Nintendo 3DS XL anymore. It doesn't feel right in my hands, and so I'd much rather play it here.
Yes, I certainly agree with that. And you're also right that the rewind is going to be a big factor here, because one of the things I know about Earthbound is that it is hard and it's also grindy.
It's grindy, yes.
So being able to not replay entire sections if you lose to a boss is going to cut down on playtime in a way that will, what we've been using Rewind for in games like Ninja Gaiden and Castlevania is, these games are really cool. It's fun to see them through. They have good mechanics, but they didn't value your time at all. And this game is a great example of that. And I think this is obviously a great thing.
Yeah.
It's hilarious that they saved them and gave them their own thing. Like, this should have just been a part of the rollout of NES and SNES games a year and a half ago at minimum, but it's at maximum now. It's past maximum now, and we're getting them.
Yeah, I wish I could just know, no, and not in a PR speak way, like in an honest way, why now?
Yeah.
Because it's very weird. Okay, now we're into the last two major Nintendo announcements before we circle back around to the other random. You know what, Tucker? Actually, these are the two big ones, I'd say. So let's do
go back to now.
The random shit, yeah. Okay, I'm gonna scroll back up to the top of Nibal's breakdown, and I'm just gonna start saying things, and when you want me to stop, you're gonna stop me. Okay. Sure. This summer, No Man's Sky is headed to Nintendo Switch. Thoughts?
Interesting. That game has gotten better. It'll be interesting to see if it gets new life at all on Switch. It's going to be even more interesting to see if it runs well on Switch. This is one of the games that was touted as one of the most ambitious games ever designed. And obviously they've had a lot of time to polish it and what's the word I'm looking for? Make it specifically work on Switch.
Yeah, optimize it.
Optimize, thank you. Optimize it for Switch. But also we don't know for sure. It could run like piss on Switch, which would be unfortunate, but
yeah, No Man's Sky is a different game than it was at launch.
Yes.
And I want to get back into it because I really like No Man's Sky. I was so hyped for, but then it came out and it was so boring.
Yeah. I don't know if I've ever shared my No Man's Sky story on here.
Yeah.
Is I bought it day one. I got it as my birthday present that year. Yeah. That was my birthday present, like specifically that and only that. And then I played it for 2 hours. I'm like, hey, this is pretty cool because frankly, the opening hours of the game are pretty interesting. And then my friend came over for my birthday sleepover, played the game the entire night, didn't talk to us. And then when I went back to the game, I tried it and I'm like, actually, this isn't that great. Because once you get back to certain points, it was pretty barren. And then I couldn't return it on Steam because my friend had played fucking 8 hours of it in one night.
Yeah. The No Man's Sky is actually, I think, the first thing I ever bought with money I made at a job because I was like 15 when the game came out. Mm-hmm. So that's when I was working my first job. And I was like, hey, buy the game.
And also because it was so anticipated.
Okay, next, Front Mission First remake has been announced, launches this summer. The sequel is coming after that. Do you have any thoughts on Front Mission?
I'd never heard of it until
now.
Front Mission, I can't say anything explicitly.
Front Mission is an old Square Enix strategy RPG that people love, and by people I mean Colin Moriarty. And because I basically only listen to Last Stand Media gaming coverage, that's I extrapolate that out to how everybody feels, which is probably inaccurate. It's a strategy RPG with mechs. I think it could be kind of neat, but I'm not going to play it.
No.
Pixar Speedstorm has been announced, a Disney Pixar racer, which I absolutely.
Is it called Pixar Speedstorm?
It's called Disney Speedstorm.
That's just technically the opposite of what you said.
Oh no, I said Disney Speedstorm. It's a Disney Pixar racer.
That's true. I agree.
It's free to play, cross-platform. It looks really good. Is it going to be really good? Probably not. But Gameloft actually does have a reputation for making high-quality mobile titles. Mm-hmm. So I love Disney. I love Pixar. I will download it and see if it's any fun. This is a fun one for Abram Buhner here. Star Wars: The Force Unleashed is coming on April 20th. This is one of the games that I played the most of as a kid. And what's interesting about this, Tucker, and you're not going to find this interesting, but it is interesting, is that this is the Wii version of the game. And the reason that's cool is because I got to put down this is going to take a moment of explanation.
It takes two hands.
There are two versions. There's really like 7 versions of Force Unleashed, but there's 2 major ones. There's the Xbox 360 and PS3 version.
Yeah.
And then there's the Wii and PS2 version. They were handled by different developers. The Wii and PS2 version is widely considered to be much better than the 360 and PS3 version. So this is going to be the first HD version of the better version of the game, which is a complicated and kind of circuitous way to get there. But it's super cool that this is the version Aspyr is bringing back, which is definitely a bigger lift than the 360 version would have been to bring over.
Taking more effort, yeah.
Yeah, but there's different content, it's kind of remixed in a sense. So when I played Force Unleashed last year, the 360 version, which I'd never touched before, it wasn't what I remembered because it was basically a different game. So I'm actually really excited to play this version in a couple months. I'm sure you have nothing to say about Force Unleashed.
Frankly,
yeah.
If every one of these fucking directs, we get a PS2 era Star Wars game remastered and placed on modern consoles. And you know what? I'm glad these games are more accessible now. It is funny to me because I didn't know any of these games existed. Yeah. And visually and mechanically, they all seem to kind of run together from an outsider's perspective. But you're excited. This information is interesting. It doesn't make me personally interested to try the game in a particular way, though I'm not above giving it a try.
Sure.
Morally.
The next one that I literally have nothing to say about, Assassin's Creed Ezio Collection comes to Switch on the 17th of this month. Okay.
The thing about that is it's interesting that we're starting to get fill-ins of these franchises, and this is important games being playable on Nintendo Switch now. And of course, that's not a new thing. We get a lot of games ported to Switch, collections, fucking franchises. But it's weird that this is this late into the Switch's life cycle. Yeah. I think this is a collection that is just coming out everywhere now, regardless. But I don't play Assassin's Creed, but we now have like a solid amount of Assassin's Creed games playable on a Nintendo system, games that weren't ever playable on here before. So
yeah, we
cool
have
from that perspective.
we have them all through. We don't have the first one, but then we've got 2 through Rogue on Switch.
Yeah.
Okay. SD Gundam Battle Alliance, whatever.
This was only funny to us because it was in the classic games are now playable on Nintendo Switch category, and I don't know if this is a game that's a port. I can't actually tell.
I can't even fucking tell what the game is. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It just has little chibi Gundams.
Whatever. Let's talk about something a little bit more interesting. Chrono Cross. Chrono Cross is called the Radical Dreamers Edition.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can turn off enemy encounters. There's an enhanced soundtrack of the game. Even though I was trying to convince Tucker that it was an artistic choice to remake the game and have it look like that, it's not. It's just a remaster, not a remake.
Yes.
I don't care, frankly. The one cool thing about this game, though, is that it brings the Radical Dreamers text-based Satellaview adventure game to Switch. And the only reason I care about that is because Satellaview games are completely inaccessible. So
yeah, it's because Satellaview has something to do with Nintendo, whereas Chrono Cross did not.
That's a fucking PlayStation game.
But this is interesting. I actually have a high amount of I have a high amount of respect for Square Enix in the way that they're treating their classic titles.
Yes.
This is exactly in the vein of how they've treated almost all of Final Fantasy from 7 onward. The pixel remasters are their own fucking meat and potatoes that I don't want to get into.
Yeah.
But they've done this to Final Fantasy 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 2, 12. Like they're going down the line, and adding these that aren't Final Fantasy games to this lineup is great because this is probably pretty much going to be objectively the best way to play this game. It's available on modern hardware. It looks better as best it can without being remade. It includes that content and I believe it's also only $20. So for all of this information, this is a fantastic announcement. Fantastic. And also presumably the fucking rumor in the wind is Chrono Cross is getting a remake. So this is just, getting.
I think this is what that was.
No, I thought the rumor I've heard is that there's a from the ground up Chrono Cross remake in the works.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Like a Final Fantasy 7 remake style remake.
That's very peculiar.
Like an action RPG version.
Let's talk about a game that is going to.
This isn't an action RPG. I actually have no fucking clue.
No, it's definitely not an
action
RPG.
Where the fuck is Chrono Trigger? That's my real question. We're getting Square Enix treating their old IP phenomenally well, better than probably anyone else. Yeah. And remaking them all in 2D HD fucking pixel 3D whatever.
Well,
but then where the fuck is Chrono Trigger?
I'll raise that point when we get to another Square Enix revival that we saw today.
Yeah.
First look at MLB The Show 22 on Switch. The game looks and runs like asshole. However,
holy shit, it's bad.
This game is going to be ginormous on the platform. MLB The Show is an enormous franchise in the PlayStation now Xbox ecosystems. Mm-hmm. And I really think that there's a distinct possibility that the Switch version of this PlayStation Studios published Sony Santa Monica developed the game sells best on Switch.
That is also, I want to just add another caveat. That is also on Xbox Game Pass.
Day one Game Pass.
Yeah, this is a cool.
Yeah.
This is where we wanted things to be headed when we were getting ports of Doom and Wolfenstein and Witcher 3, which for the most part dried up. But now we're getting this, and it's exactly what people expected is, oh no, oh, this looks terrible. It looks really bad, and it's running at like 20 fucking frames per second. But hopefully it plays well enough. The aspect of it being cross-save is actually really fantastic. It looks like a fucking Wii game. But you're right that it could be big as baseball is big in Japan, Switch is big in Japan, crossover there, cross save is fantastic. It's a Sony game. That's really interesting. Like this is a very interesting game. Yeah. The only problem with it is that it's on Switch hardware. Switch hardware is not strong enough to run a 2022 first party developed Sony Studios game. It looks like piss.
All right, we're coming up into, I think, the 3 last really interesting third-party games to talk about before we circle back to Nintendo stuff. Mm-hmm. Klonoa Reverie Collection, Klonoa 1+2, as you informed me, Klonoa 2 never been re-released. Mm-hmm. I don't think Klonoa looks fun or interesting, but I know people like Klonoa, and I want to give it a try.
Yeah.
So I think we go Dutch on this one.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that, actually. I really would like to play Klonoa. Again, the fact that this is the first re-release of Klonoa 2 is exciting. Make games accessible on modern platforms. This is awesome. Klonoa also a series that gets no love. So the fact that it's coming back at all is exciting. But I think it does look fun. It looks just as fun as other 2D platformers, and it has a gimmick of the depth of field and the curviness and the pseudo 3D environments. Yeah. Could be charming, could be cool. But I'd like to try it. So
I will say that I love how Klonoa looks. That's what I'll say. I think Klonoa's a
character or the game.
Yeah, the game. The character. Let's be clear, not the game. I don't think the game looks very fun to play. I think Klonoa as a character is very neat looking. Sure. Now here's an interesting one: Portal Companion Collection 1+2 coming to Switch. This is really weird to me. I don't know why, but it's cool that it happened, and I wish it had been Half-Life instead. That's kind of my thoughts here. Yeah,
Half-Life is an even weirder one because those games are on the whole, I believe, even less accessible. Yeah. But these games have also not been released on consoles since the 360.
Orange box.
Yeah, I mean, well, Portal 2 was also sold on its own.
Oh, I didn't know that.
On PS3 and 360. I actually have Portal 2 on both PS3 and 360. Not that I've played it because I played it on PC. But this is exciting. Portal and Portal 2 are two of the most highly acclaimed influential games of all time. Valve doesn't make fucking games anymore for the most part. So seeing these games at all is exciting, and hopefully it signals a return to porting Half-Life and Half-Life 2 and episode 1, episode. Like, they have a lot of games that people like to play, but they've been relegated to only Steam for over a decade now. Yeah. And also, these are two of my favorite games of all time. And Switch continues to just grab decent, solid ports of a lot of the best games of all time. And that's awesome.
Yeah, I hope Valve brings more of their games over to other consoles. I don't even really care if they come to Switch. Just put them on something console-based. Maybe buy this for my birthday.
I'm not opposed to that. I don't even know when your birthday is, though. Frankly. Sorry. I'm not good with birthdays. Tanner's birthday came up like 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh.
He didn't even tell me it was his birthday.
No, yeah, what did we do? We watched some godforsaken movie.
You know when my birthday is, like, so it was Abram Eve. We celebrated Abram Eve and stuff.
Oh, I know exactly when your birthday is. Yes. My bad.
Yeah, everyone knows when my birthday is because I've got a recognizable birthday.
You certainly do.
But here's another thing I've noticed. This is a complete tangent, but I don't think
that's fine.
I don't think men tell each other their birthdays as much as women do.
No, I don't.
Because Jean and her friends know when all of their birthdays are, and they're always wishing each other happy birthday.
Yeah.
I genuinely do not. I don't think I know when the birthday of a single one of my male friends is, and it doesn't matter if I've known them since we were children. It doesn't matter how close our relationship is. I literally do not know their birthdays. And I don't expect them to know mine.
I don't even know if I said happy birthday to Tanner on his birthday. Oh Lord. Right. Portal's cool. Those games are so fucking good.
I had an out-of-body experience when this game got announced. We're talking about the Live Alive remake.
Yeah.
Releasing July 22nd.
You know what this is? This is a Jared Petty ass game.
It's actually a Per Schneider ass game who said that Per Schneider is his favorite Japanese role-playing game of all time, so he fainted when it got announced. He put that on Twitter.
Live Alive, you mean?
Yeah.
You just said that Per Schneider was his favorite Japanese role-playing game. That's not true. But this is fascinating. This is fascinating.
You want me to explain what this game is?
Yeah, and then I'll say why it's fascinating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But just to set the stage, because nobody knows what Live Alive is.
Yeah.
And the reason I know what a Live Alive is because my roommate Martin is an enormous JRPG fan. So through dubious means, he's
scarily large.
Yes. He knows more about JRPGs than literally I think anybody writing about JRPGs professionally. And so he has a dubiously obtained and fan translated version of a Live Alive that he has been playing in our dorm room. I've been watching him play Alive. Essentially what the game is it's a pretty traditional turn-based Square Enix turn-based JRPG. There's kind of an interesting battle system where you position yourself in the battle arenas. But what's interesting about it is that the character classes are bizarre. Like there's like a prehistoric caveman, there's like a cowboy. It's a bunch of like completely unrelated aesthetics that come together. Mm-hmm. It's almost, and I don't want to say this, but it's almost Earthboundian in the way that its world comes together. Because it's not
Toyian.
Yeah, and it's a quirky indie role-playing game. But
that is getting the
HD 2D,
HD fucking 2D treatment.
Yeah, and so this is the first time it's ever released beyond Japan officially. It's an HD 2D.
Fucking insane, and also by extension insane because we still haven't gotten Final Fantasy 5, 6, Chrono Trigger. Like there are other games that people would have expected before this. That doesn't make this bad in any way. And frankly, again, props to Square Enix. the idea of bringing back these games in a new fashion with modern affordances and gorgeous visuals. I think these games look fantastic.
Yeah, I think
A
this
game
is the
that-
best looking HD 2D game.
This one?
Yeah.
I can't tell the fucking difference.
Well, 'cause I
The
think
Dragon
the-
Quest 3 also looks great.
Yeah, but the variety of environments, like these
Sure.
like more modern environments and all of the different styles, and they look so good in HD 2D. Because otherwise it's like fantasy
God, oh my God.
mountains.
Please, for the love of God, Final Fantasy 6 HD 2D.
I think
Please.
that and after seeing Alive get announced, I think that and Chrono Trigger are locked for HD 2D.
I'm actually very excited to try Chrono Trigger, period. But an HD 2D version would be the absolute perfect way to do that. And it's probably coming. I mean, we've been getting these announced quicker and quicker and quicker.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. They look great. So I'm excited. I'm not
Let's
gonna
be
play
clear.
live though.
That's exactly what I was about to say. Okay, now we can probably rapid fire these. Taiko no Tatsuji and Rhythm Festival comes to Switch later this year. You can buy a paid subscription to get 500 songs.
Yeah, you can buy the base game, which
With
has
76
Metroidvania,
songs,
which
I
is
believe.
fun, which has 76 songs, and then you can pay a subscription fee for Taiko no Tatsujin and get 8 times the amount of content. What? This is a really weird content strategy.
I mean, it's actually not, because it's just a Guitar Hero strategy, but it's a
I guess I never.
strategy that
Yeah, but
like,
also through a subscription. I don't think they had subscription.
Guitar Hero Live had a subscription.
Oh.
Nobody played Guitar Hero Live, and nobody's going to play Rhythm Festival. If it was Donkey Kong, I would have played it, but it's not, so fuck you. Triangle Strategy gets a new demo. Okay, cool. Cuphead Delicious Last Course. We already saw that at the Game Awards. So they're just kind of reaffirming it's coming to Switch. And then I think, Tucker, that's all for the non-Nintendo stuff. So now we're going to circle back around to my announcement of the show. And that was the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. Now let me set the stage for this before I turn you loose. Okay.
I'm chomping at the bit. You can see how excited.
What this is between March 18th, when the first wave releases, and the end of 2023, 23, not 22, 23, we are getting 6 waves of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC. It's a total of 48 tracks, split into 2 Grand Prix per wave. And all 48 of these tracks are remastered tracks from past Mario Kart games. And
from Super to Tour.
Yes.
Fucking any game.
So literally every single game, which makes sense because there's already so many tracks remade in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as it was in the base game.
Yeah.
That they had to pull from everything. I think the tour tracks in particular, I'm really excited about. But so first wave on the 18th, running through 2023, the pass is going to run you $24.99, or you get it for free if you are a Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack owner.
Yeah.
Tucker, those are the details. I've turned you loose.
This is a WND. This is a weird Nintendo decision, because not only have people been surprised that we didn't get Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC for 5 years now, but we were pretty seriously expecting a Mario Kart 9 announcement and a release within the next year, 2 years, whatever. Because 8 is 10 years old, Deluxe is 5 years old. Like, this is a very strange game. And then we hear news for the Mario Kart fans. We're like, this could be one of the big announcements. And then he's like, DLC, and we're both like, God damn it. And in my mind, I'm like, we'll get 12 stages. I think I explicitly said we'll get 12 stages. You know, it'll be a similar rollout to what happened with Mario Kart 8 space game. It'll be solid, you know, maybe 1 or 2 crossover characters, whatever. But then they say it's 48 tracks, which is an entire Mario Kart game worth of tracks across the entire series. They all look phenomenal in terms of how much effort was put into remaking all of these. Holy Christ, this is a really big deal. The only problem is that it's releasing over such a long period of time, but this is incredible. And it's a huge amount of value for Nintendo Switch Online Expansion Pass members. Yeah, okay.
Let's take a deep breath here.
I'm not a Mario Kart player, by the way. I'm not a huge Mario Kart fan.
I think Mario Kart is probably definitely a top 5, maybe a top 3 Nintendo IP for me.
Yeah, of course. That's reasonable.
Yeah,
it is for most people.
Yeah, it is the single franchise that I can play with the most people.
Sure.
My entire family, my parents, my sister, all of us played
Smash has more players.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
yeah.
We like that was a game that we could all play together. I've
course.
played a shit ton of Mario Kart Wii, but I've played even more 8. I know 8 inside and out. I think there are a few games, period, that I know like the way that I know the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. And I have long been clamoring for a new Mario Kart game.
Yeah.
Because I have played hundreds of hours of this game between both Switch and Wii U.
Yeah.
And I still play it regularly because my girlfriend Jean, Captain Toads are number 1, Mario Karts are number 2. Clubhouse games are number 3. That's true. But I was saying I need a new Mario Kart and a new Mario Kart. I don't though, and this is the thing that I've come to think about, right? Mario, and from my perspective, Mario Kart 8's mechanics, especially with 8 Deluxe with the double items and the purple sparks and everything, this is the best set of mechanics Mario Kart has ever had.
Yeah.
And I don't think that a Mario Kart 9 could feel better than Mario Kart 8 does.
Sure.
And so I think that we had it in our heads that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as a Wii U port could not be a platform. Mm-hmm. And I think Nintendo probably had it in their heads too, because it took 5 years.
Yeah. They had that in their heads for like 3.5 years or whatever. Yeah. And then they're like, but actually, see, and actually, what in my mind, what this lines up with is, a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, whenever this is started thinking, lines up pretty solidly with, hey, we're going to have an expansion pass that they can pay for separately. What's good for that? Mario Kart's a big deal. People are going to want to pay for tracks. Okay, what if we include that there? And then I think it just kept building and building and building until it became a live service game for Mario Kart, which is fascinating.
Yeah, which is great. I think this is what Mario Kart needs, and I'm very happy with this. Mm-hmm. Because my problem for so long is in that interim period that you're talking about, like what was happening. Nothing was happening. That's my issue.
Labo.
And then we get Home Invasion, we get Tour.
Yeah.
But I don't need a new framework. I just need new content, and we're getting that now. And you say Mario Kart as a live service game. I think the ideal thing here, which I don't think is going to happen, but would have been ideal, is if they brought back the online weekly missions of Mario Kart Wii here to like supplement that.
Sure, so that would have been announced today.
Yeah,
it was happening.
Right. And I don't think it is, but still, 48 tracks is another Mario Kart game.
Yes.
It doesn't matter that they're remade, because a remade Mario Kart track is a new track. Mm-hmm. Both in terms,
to the extent that, especially as the SNES and Super Circuit games are tracks are entirely different mechanically and exploration wise than the originals.
Yeah, and even tracks from later Mario Kart games get retooled with the underwater and the flying.
Yes,
sections,
exactly, especially that,
which completely recontextualize. The only ones that feel just like straight visual remakes are Mario Kart 7, but everything else, especially
because it's so mechanically similar.
Yeah. Getting Tour content in here is so cool, because Mario Kart Tour, well, I'm not going to play it just because I'm not going to play touchscreen. I'm not going to deal with that monetization strategy.
Yeah.
But there is amazing content in that game, like amazing content.
And a lot of it.
So I really hope
Donkey Kong Jr.
So I hope we get
the pixel Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah.
That's always fun to me.
It would be super cool if we got some of those characters that were announced along with these packs, which I think is not out of the question.
Yeah.
But like, this Mario Kart, I love Mario Kart, and I basically am getting a new Mario Kart game, and it's content wise in the framework of the best feeling Mario Kart game. But I hate how it's being rolled out.
Yeah,
I think it's unacceptable, because here's the thing, right? I was kind of doing the math in my mind. We've got 6 waves. We have 10 months left in the year. 12 months in the next year, so 22 months. Divide that by 6, you're looking at like every 3 months, maybe you get a new pack.
That sounds right.
I just don't think that works. Having 8 new cups, 2 new cups, 8 new tracks is going to add a lot to my replayability, and that's totally great. But I don't want to wait 3 months for the next one. I think as I was saying to you when we were editing all of the reaction content we did, was 6 months of month to month to month, if they were like, and after the show, the first wave is live, they could carry us into October, and then they could re-release an ultra deluxe version of the game
Yep.
For Christmas, and get another probably 5-7 million copies out of this game, just on top of its perpetual momentum.
Yeah.
I think that it's taking way too long for this content. That's way too long, in my opinion. That's the one big caveat I have.
Yeah, I agree. It's not as offensive to me as it is to you, because I'll play these tracks when someone's like, hey, do you want to play Mario Kart? And I'm like, oh yeah, I have the expansion pass. I've played a lot of Mario Kart. I've played 60 hours of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I know all those tracks. Frankly, it's not, as someone who's not super into racing games and Mario Kart as a whole, one of the only things I like is seeing the tracks the first few times, trying the extra path, seeing the environment, seeing how they've retooled it from older games. All that stuff is interesting to me, even as someone who's not a consistent fan of Mario Kart. And there's a lot of that. And this does keep me checking back in if we do want to do like discussions of how the tracks look, or talk about the
definitely will
coming out. But that's 2 years worth of that. As someone who is not a huge DLC fan in general, as someone who is not inherently a Mario Kart fan, I do think that a Mario Kart 9 would have been more interesting to me. I don't necessarily know if I care that it's not on Switch. One will probably come next console, if it even does, even if they could combine this all and call it just Mario Kart and release it as a thing on the next console. Like, this changes the future of Mario Kart in a way that is a little bit unfortunate to me, because while I agree to that, yes, this is the best feeling Mario Kart, I do think they can do more with it. I think some kind of mild new mechanic, the return of a double dash mode, of more focus on new tracks instead of retooling other ones, more insane track design, which is crazy because Ada's insane track design, a new roster of characters. These are all things that interest me, even as someone who's not a Mario Kart fan. And we're not going to get any of that for 5 years at least.
Yeah, it's going to be a while. And you're definitely right. I think that the future Mario Kart is crossover content. I think the future Mario Kart is a Diddy Kong Racing style adventure mode. The future Mario Kart is
now that would excite me.
A return of the Mario Kart DS missions.
Yes.
There's so much to do with the game and with the franchise moving forward, but I don't have an issue with Nintendo saying we're going to do that next generation, launch with a Mario Kart as we did this generation, as long as I'm still playing Mario Kart in the meantime. And now I'm going to be, and that's kind of my thing. Now we have something to grip.
Yeah, of course. And it'll be interesting to see when that game comes out, how different it is, how much of this content is also included there, because they've been working hard at this. 48 tracks is a lot of fucking tracks, and they all look very good. This has been worked on for years, and that changes the workflow quite significantly from what we expect out of the Mario Kart team, who also, I believe, also made ARMS.
I believe so.
And they could be doing something else on the other side.
Yeah.
But this is cool. I think it's the best case scenario from a content perspective of what we could do for DLC, that it's way more than expected. And it's also included with a thing that we already have access to. So I would certainly not have bought this if it was separate. I'm even less likely to have played it if it was sold separately. But now I get it as a expansion pass owner, which is awesome, and continues to. Well, it's not. It's not the N64 games that are adding the fucking value here, but this is a huge boost of value for that.
It's a huge boost of value. I think there's another conversation. I think we should have another conversation. We're spinning off on all kinds of other conversations to have later, but I think talking about the state of Nintendo Switch Online, in light of this, in light of Earthbound, in light of one N64 game a month, I think is a fruitful conversation to have.
Sure.
But now, Tucker, we're down to the last game. I'm going to talk about all the details. I'm going to say my piece shortly, and I'm going to let you take us out because I have very little to say about this one. The direct ended on Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is coming this September, and it is taking sort of like a lot of the narrative and world concepts of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 and kind of fusing them together into 3. I'm not a Xenoblade fan. I wish I was a Xenoblade fan. I keep trying. I'll probably try again here. But ultimately, I was just kind of looking at this, I'm like, this seems like more Xenoblade to me, which is all it needed to be. But neither here nor there for me. So I want to give you the opportunity to go off on this.
Yeah, so this is an interesting one in that this trailer didn't get me. It got me like 5% more excited for Xenoblade 3 than I was beforehand, because we basically knew that a Xenoblade 3 was happening. The fact that it is real is exciting. The fact that it's pretty soon, it is Monolith Soft soon, is exciting. The fact that the most interesting thing about this is the fact that it is explicitly combining the worlds of 2 and 1 in a way that is going to be interesting to see how narratively, as a fan of 2, the story is continued or in some spin off in some other direction. But I wasn't paying attention to this trailer.
Sure.
I see a funny anime character. I'm like, this looks like Xenoblade art style. I hear mediocre British acting, voice acting. I'm like, this is a Xenoblade game. And then after that, I check out. I talk to you. My eyes glaze over. I'm like, yes, this looks like Xenoblade. But I'm gonna rewatch the trailer. When I listen to the story, I might be more interested in actually what's going on. I could not tell you what was happening. It was fucking anime bullshit. But I need to see more of the game. I need to see how the combat has changed, because if Xenoblade is notorious for changing up its combat from game to game, I need to see how the game on a large level looks and runs. But the game is happening. I am a very big Xenoblade fan since I poured a ton of hours into Xenoblade 2. I'm going to presumably play the crap out of this game.
Yeah.
I hope it's high quality. I hope it's great. I'm interested in seeing the story continue. But this, again, my thesis statement is this trailer was only exciting in that this game exists. To me, nothing in this trailer got me more excited. I'm excited for Xenoblade 3 because I'm a Xenoblade fan, but not because this trailer did anything for me.
No, I think that's really fair.
Yeah.
September is very soon. I'll just say about that. That's very soon.
Yes, it is. And frankly, adds another pillar to this year. Not that Xenoblade is on the level of Kirby, Splatoon, is Zelda, it's probably bigger than Bayonetta.
It's bigger than Bayonetta, for sure.
But this is, frankly, I didn't expect there to be room for this kind of game in this year. And it's probably pushing out Breath of the Wild more than certainly. The more we see this year fill out, this is one of their holiday games. We have room for another announcement in an E3 Direct, but I don't think it's going to be that Breath of the Wild is coming this year. But I'm very excited for this game, and I think it'll do big as the Xenoblade series has continued to only grow.
Yeah, I hope this will be the biggest one for the series and kind of justify the amount of love Nintendo Monolith give it, because it doesn't sell that well. But I'm glad that they stick with the series nonetheless, because it has a very hardcore fan base.
Yeah.
Well, Tucker, this has been a marathon.
Yeah,
it's been longer than the Direct itself.
Good.
Tucker?
Yes. Any closing statements?
I don't know if I have any closing statements per se. I think that in kind of sort of sussing out our thoughts on the matter, I'm more excited for Switch Sports Resort. I'm more excited for the booster course pack. I'm actually quite excited to start Earthbound.
Today.
Probably not today.
You can, but
I can. But yeah, I just find myself concerned still about a number of the games that were shown off today, but also reaffirm my excitement for others like Kirby and Forgotten Land. So we'll have a pretty major discussion about how this kind of changes the face of Nintendo's 2022, probably coming next week. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've realized as we talked to this that I actually am pretty excited for all of these, because I'm not a fan of them, which is weird to say, but this is the Switch. What the Switch has done best for me and for a lot of Nintendo fans is reinvigorate interest in a variety of franchises. And now we're getting a casual game that looks very, very high quality. We're getting another entry in a Xenoblade series, filling it out more. A sequel to Three Houses in terms of a Muso game. The return to a Mario Sports series that's been dead for 15 years. Mario Kart DLC. Like, this is a padding on top of the already strong and very rigid series of games that we knew Nintendo had this year. Pokemon, Kirby, Splatoon, Mario & Rabbids, Breath of the Wild, Bayonetta. Holy shit. But now there's a nice bubble around this of that's not all they have. And of course, that's weird to say because all they have is some of the most exciting games of the generation. But there now is other stuff to talk about around that. And this year is filled out like a green pie, and I'm very happy about that. Yeah, and then your urethra is approximately a centimeter in diameter.
It looks like you should be able to put a quarter in it and get a gumball. All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Backlog Banter.